So Rob, as an industry supplier in the lighting and electrical component space for displays, but also museums and things like that, you are at a very critical business line to see many of the economic impacts that are happening now. As we all know, our supply chain reference, things are tough. But I know you've got a lot of insights into what some of those components are. Why are things more expensive and slower to get? Tell us about supply issues and cost issues these days, Rob.
Yeah, it's become a big part of our business, in managing those issues. We contract manufacture overseas. So everyone's seeing an increased cost, whether it's domestic or overseas, in component costs, as well as the availability of components and in shipping time. And I can share with you a few stories, anecdotes of situations that have recently arisen. As we started to emerge from the pandemic and we were bringing a shipment in from China, we had a container on a boat, and the boat got delayed, and you couldn't predict how long it was going to be before you could see your goods, because then a worker died on a ship. And the rule was that the ship had to be able to demonstrate to the port and the authorities in the US that no one tested positive for COVID for 14 straight days on the ship. And it took over almost 4 weeks for that to happen while the boat just floated at sea.
14 weeks? I thought it was 14 days.
It had to be 14 days, I'm sorry, that there were no positive tests, but it took 4 weeks for them to accomplish that on the boat. Yeah. So there are those delays. We recently did a quote for a project on the commercial side, and the customer asked us how long the lead time would be to get the product. And we said, we can't give you a lead time. They said, why? Well, it's because a component for this particular light was made in Belarus. And because of a regional war going on and sanctions in place, preventing us from being able to even buy from that country, we can't predict lead time. So regional war having a huge global impact right now. On top of that, we have the challenges of tariffs being imposed for products coming out of certain countries, not all, and that's escalating pricing. And then another of the most recent concerns is that neon gas is used in the manufacture of LEDs. And there are two primary sources for the manufacturing of neon gas. One is China, which keeps the source close to where a lot of the LEDs are being made. The other is the Ukraine. So we don't know when we'll be seeing neon gas flowing from the Ukraine again. So all these world events have a huge impact on our industry, on the lighting side's ability to deliver, but universally for companies to be able to deliver because of the need to gain components from all over the world.
So what kind of price increases have you seen in supply? So that's time. What other kinds of increases have you seen?
We work hard to keep the pricing down right now and working with vendors and trying to do as much planning as possible as to what needs will be so that we can buy up components. We've seen on the commercial side lead times go as long as 52 weeks to get products, a full year. For the most part, we're only seeing right now at most a 30-day pushback in our lead times. We manage a strong inventory and keep that on hand here in the States. And we have quantity points where we automatically trigger reordering within our system so that we keep strong inventories on hand at all times. But we are seeing price increases in the 10 to 20% range.
It seems to be the number, if not a little bit higher, that we're seeing
Yeah.
in other aspects of service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that as petroleum prices go up, plastic prices go up.
Mhm.
Plastics are used in the manufacturing of lighting and in the insulation of cables for all electrical
Mm.
cords. So petroleum drives the cost up of a lot of things, not just gas at the gas pump.
So maybe give us a couple of words of hope. Do you have a sense when, or do you have what are you envisioning for how we're going to kind of stabilize here?
That's a great question, and I wish I had that crystal ball. Um, I think how the Fed regulates interest rates will
Mm.
have a significant impact on the economy. If there's a big bump to come, we're already hearing rumors of that and seeing some reaction in the stock market to that already. Then the road becomes a little longer for a full recovery. I don't think we'll have a full-blown recession, um, but I also think that world events such as the tragic events in the Ukraine right now are going to have wider impacts on the economy than just regional impacts. These are worldwide issues to come. I do think that the United States market is in a better place to withstand a number of these international events than a number of other international economies. Um, so I think we just have to be patient. That's a tough word um, with our supply chains, and we need to do is more planning,
Mhm.
something that's not really popular in our industry,
Yep.
um, if we want to have what we want when we want it. We need to plan a little better.
That's an important insight. We keep saying it to our clients. When they start to feel the pain, when they haven't done so, is when they really believe it. But we have to keep repeating that. I appreciate your macro view of things, Rob. I always have. I always enjoy thinking about what you've seen, what you know, and our industry history is long, and we've seen a lot of tough stuff, and we have persevered through it. So thank you for being one of our industry thought leaders.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having me, Nicole. It's great to always work with you.
Thank you.